Man, after I walked out of this live action adaptation, I gotta say, Disney, you need to take some notes, because this is how you do a live action remake to the animated film. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is On The Braincat, and today I'm going to review the latest live action adaptation, and that film is How to Train Your Dragon. This movie is directed by Dean DeBlois. Finally, I said his name right. I searched him up, that's how you say his name. This is the latest live action remake to the original 2010's How to Train Your Dragon, and this movie stars Mason Thames, Nico Parker, and Gerard Butler. As an ancient threat endangers both Vikings and dragons alike on the Isle of Berk, the friendship between Hiccup, an inventive Viking, and Toothless, a night fairy dragon, becomes the key to both species forging a new future together. So, we got a lot of live action remakes from Disney right now. Now we have a DreamWorks live action adaptation of the original How to Train Your Dragon. If you want to see that review, check it out. It is one of my favorite DreamWorks films of all time. It's definitely in my top 3. And of course, when it comes to Disney live action films, there's a lot of mixed bag ones, but of course the live action films have been very divisive and backlashing from a lot of people. So when I heard they're doing a live action How to Train Your Dragon movie, I'm like, alright, now DreamWorks is getting into this? I wasn't knowing what to think, but when I saw the first teaser trailer, I'm not going to lie, I was interested. Because if you really think about it, How to Train Your Dragon can be basically told in many different stories. It could be from animation or live action, because it definitely has that feel to it either way. Like, it can be told in animated form. It can be told in live action form. And especially that the same director of the original is directing this movie as well. So there's a bit of curiosity of how this live action adaptation is going to be. The trailers really do impress me, but of course I was skeptical because this is a remake of one of my favorite anime films of all time. And this is coming from the guy that loves the original How to Train Your Dragon, the whole trilogy. So of course, I went to this movie, you know, looking forward to it, but also very optimistic that this could be kind of in the same tone as basically most of Disney live action films. But I gotta say, guys, man, after I walked out of this live action adaptation, I gotta say, Disney, you need to take some notes, because this is how you do a live action remake to the animated film, because I had a total blast with this live action remake. I would say it's one of the better ones that I have seen in a very long time. And it's not even a Disney live action film, and I'm already saying this is one of the better ones. I gotta say, DreamWorks, you know what you're doing. Now, of course, let's get into the things that I really liked about this movie. First of all, the cast. They absolutely got the cast right throughout this movie. And before we get to some of them individually, I gotta say, I love that the cast bring their own spin to the characters. They don't copy and paste like the original actors do. They actually bring their own versions of the characters, and I thought each of them does a very good job in the film, especially Mason Thames as Hiccup. He crushes it in this movie as Hiccup, and like I said, he doesn't try and copy basically Jay in the original film. He basically plays his own version of Hiccup. You still follow Hiccup throughout the journey of the film, and I thought Mason Thames' performance really stood out in this film. Also, I gotta say, Nico Parker as Astrid is also great in the film. She gets much more chance to shine in this film than the original film, and I actually think the chemistry between Mason Thames and Nico Parker is actually really strong in this film, but Nico Parker does a really great job as Astrid in the film. And of course, Gerard Butler reprising his role as Stoic the Vest. Man, great decision that they bring him back to this movie, because I can't see anyone else playing Stoic the Vest besides Gerard Butler. He completely crushes it in this movie. He's still awesome in this film. He's still the lovable animated character, but just in live action form. It's all like James Earl Jones as Mufasa, you know? I can't picture anyone else to play this type of role. I think Gerard Butler is basically irreplaceable as Stoic the Vest, and it's a really great decision that Dean casted him back in this movie, because he completely nails it in the film. The rest of the cast is great. Nick Frost as Gobbler, great in the film. The Fish Gang from Tough Nut, Fish Legs, Rough Nut, they're all great in this film. They'll bring their own spin to those characters. And the cast in the movie looks like they had so much fun making this movie. They don't feel bland or, you know, very dry like most of the Disney live action films when it comes to the acting. Literally, the acting in this movie is very, very strong in this film. And also what's strong in the film? The dragons themselves. The CGI of the dragons look fantastic, especially Toothless. Toothless looks amazing in this film in live action form. I love that they kept the anime designs but translate into live action, and the CGI completely on the dragons is flawless in my opinion. I thought the CGI on the dragons looked amazing in this film, and of course the chemistry between Hiccup and Toothless in this live action remake is very, very strong like the original film. It still felt great, it still felt charming, it still felt very heartfelt. It kept the same spirit of the original just from this live action line from the chemistry. I just thought the chemistry between Hiccup and Toothless is very strong in this remake. Now here's the thing, a lot of people are going to be very mixed by this movie because yes, this is a shot for shot, in a way, copy and paste remake of the original film. Now, some people are going to compare this movie to the 2019's Lion King, saying, oh, it's just a copy and paste movie, it's just completely pointless. Here's the thing for me. The difference between this movie and the 2019's Lion King is that the 2019's Lion King just felt so dry, just very bland when it comes to the voice acting, and the emotes are not there because of how realistic it's trying to be. This movie is a live action adaptation that still has charisma, still has heart, still has some fun around it, despite how that it is basically a shot-for-shot remake of the original film. There are a couple of small differences in the film that I noticed, especially from me because I'm a huge fan of the original film. But in a way, I could be complaining that this movie is a shot-for-shot live-action remake film that just felt like a copy and paste movie. I should complain about that, but I don't. Because the story is still coming to life in this film, and I still felt the story in this film because of the effort this film is put upon. It's still a really good story to see, especially in a remake. Yes, we're seeing the same story all over again, but I wasn't bothered by it this time. I would have been bothered if it was, but no, because this film does have some charisma, and it is a film that puts so much effort despite that it is a copy and paste remake. And it's because of the world building this film. It's still freaking there. It still felt imaginative. Even just the overall look of this movie, it doesn't look bland. It doesn't look dry. It literally looks like the anime film just pop out into live action form. This is a great looking movie with great CGI and also great acting alone, with the story that we all know and love and seen before, but it's still portrayed in a really good manner. But I can see some people won't like this movie because it is a shot-for-shot remake. It is a copy and paste film of the original film with some differences. But, like I said, with the difference between this and the Disney live-action films, especially Lion King, this film does have its charisma, and it definitely does bring to life in this one, and it definitely looks like a live-action film that puts so much effort into it. And I thought the direction of the film is really well done in this film. The cinematography especially looks incredible. Seeing the dragons flying once again on the big screen, it looks very immersive, it looks very good to look at. And of course, John Powell returning doing the score of the film. It is so great to see the score once again on the big screen. It's literally a movie of saying, this is how you do a live-action film, Disney. This is how you do a Disney live-action film that's not Disney, but this is how you do a shot-for-shot remake or a Disney live-action film just completely right. I really do think this movie does what I feel like Disney should have done in the first place with these live-action films. Kept the magic of the original film, while also just immersing you into a new version of it. I gotta say, Disney, just take some notes, please. Take some notes from this live-action remake, because this is how you do it right, in my personal opinion. Some people could agree with me, some people could disagree with me, but I gotta say, guys, overall, I had a total blast with this live-action remake. I thought How to Train Your Dragon is a well-put-together live-action film that's not Disney, but it's the way that you do a Disney live-action remake. This is how you do it. Still kept the same spirit of the original film, while also in a way feel like its own thing, even though it is a shot-for-shot remake. Mason Thames is great as Hiccup. The chemistry between Hiccup and Toothless is definitely there. Nico Parker's great. Gerald Butler is awesome in the film. The rest of the cast, spot on in this film. The dragons look absolutely incredible in this movie. The action scenes are great. The score is fantastic. The story, even though it is a shot-for-shot remake and we know exactly what's going to happen, you still feel immersed with the story because this movie brings a lot of life into it. It still kept the magic of the original How to Train Your Dragon, and I feel like that's how a live-action remake should be. Still kept that magic from the original film. But I'm praying that DreamWorks don't keep doing these live-action films, though. I feel like How to Train Your Dragon has a reason that it's a live-action film, because it's a film that can be adapted in two different ways. But please don't. I feel like How to Train Your Dragon should have been the only live-action thing that DreamWorks should do. And they are doing a sequel after this film, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm curious what they're going to do with it. But I gotta say, guys, this is how you do a live-action adaptation of an animated film. And I would say How to Train Your Dragon is one of the better live-action remakes that I have seen definitely in a while. Go out and see this remake as soon as you possibly can. Get your own opinion out of it. In my opinion, I would say for this remake of How to Train Your Dragon, absolutely go see this movie on the big screen. So guys, that is my review for the live action How to Train Your Dragon. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Do you like the film, hate the film, or you thought it's okay? Just let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contacting with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Notify for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.